So, greetings to our friends in the Canadian Shield. My name is Linda Ambrose, and I'm here today with Sylvia Carskadden to bring you this minute for right relations. We actually might take a little bit more than a minute. But before we get going, I thought that I'd like to do an acknowledgement. So I am here today in Sudbury, which is the traditional territory of the Atikomiksing Anishinaabeg Nation, and also encompasses the traditional territory of the Wahnapitae First Nation. It's a beautiful, cold morning in this territory. And as a settler ally, I have to say that I'm very grateful to live here. I feel privileged every day to wake up. This morning, I woke up to a beautiful sunrise and the story on the news of our lakes coming back to life, a sign that the fish are okay in an urban lake here in Sudbury. So I wanted to acknowledge that that's where we are, both of us, Sylvia and I, in Sudbury. Good morning, Sylvia. It's morning when we're taping this.
Good morning, Linda. It's nice to be with you.
Nice to be with you. And we're here today because we were talking a few days ago and you were telling me about a learning experience that you're undertaking. So what is this you're doing, Sylvia?
Well, I'm taking a course of study from the University of Alberta. It's called Indigenous Canada. And it's a course, it's in different modules. There are 12 modules to this course. You do one a week. And I'm learning about the story of Indigenous people and in our country. And I decided to do this because I was on a program one day with former Justice Murray Sinclair. And it was a program with church people. And the people said, what can the churches do in response to, at that time, it was on terrible news about the unmarked graves out in Saskatchewan. And they asked, what can the churches do? And Murray said, the churches need to learn the story. They need to learn the whole story.
Yeah.
So this is my own personal journey to learn the story. And I'm hoping that I've read a lot about the story in various books that people have written, like Seven Fallen Feathers and the Thomas King books and the Inconvenient Indian. I've learned a lot of the story, but I haven't learned maybe some of the information.
Right.
So that's what prompted me to do this.
Yeah, Justice Sinclair has said repeatedly, it's education that got us into this mess. And education is going to be a big part of getting us beyond. So I was really intrigued when I heard that you'd signed up for this. You're not the first person I've heard who has decided to do this MOOC at the University of Alberta. A MOOC, M-O-O-C, is a massive open online course. And I took a peek at this course that you're doing online with Dr. Paul Gatto from the Faculty of Native Studies at the University of Alberta. Sylvia, did you know that you're one of almost 500,000 people, over 453,000 people have enrolled to do this course that you're doing? So you're part of a really big group of people. And as you said, yeah, it's set up in 12 modules. It's 21 hours of instruction. And I wanted to ask you, you said a little bit about why you did it, but is it hard, Sylvia? Did you find it difficult to use this technology or to get into the course?
No, I didn't, because it's very well organized and it's set up with different parts. So appeals to all learning styles. So there's a lecture by several people who provide the lecture information. They are set up against a very interesting background. I'm a very visual person, so I like it when I can see things. Right. And so it's a very visual background. They give the lecture. There are notes, extensive notes that go along with it if you like to read the information as well as hear it. There is a talk back, so there's a place where you can go and you can write in your comments and you can hear the comments of other people. It's divided up into different sections. So there would be like maybe 7 or 10 minute a lecture, and then it would go to something else. You can stop. So
Yep.
it's in sections. So it's not listening to an hour of something. It's
Okay.
10 minutes. And then there's a little quiz for which you can use to test your learning. And I mean, I think it's possible to take this as a course for credit as well. So you're expected to get 70% in the quiz. And then the interesting part is there's an art piece with it as well, which I can talk about perhaps a bit later. But it is not hard to use.
Okay, very good. And so tell me, like, what is one thing that you've learned so far that is going to be a big takeaway for you?
Well, I think the big takeaway, there's lots of information, and the information is very important. But it's the awareness that I have developed, and I knew it before. I knew that that there was an intention to take the Indian out of all children, and to really get rid of the Indians in the country. And I knew that, but I didn't see it as well played out as I do in this information. And repeatedly, there is this intention to take opportunity and to change the situation so that community, those people were disadvantaged. And it's the intention of all. I mean, originally it looks as if there was quite a bit of collaboration between the settlers who came and the at least the people in the fur trade and the indigenous people. But gradually you can see how that changed, and that is with intention. And I think that's I've become so much more aware of it because
and learning about the treaties, right? Because we say we're all treaty people, but what does that mean actually? And unless we get this story, and in many ways I think the story that you're hearing in this course, by the sounds of it, is what we call a counter story. It's not the traditional history that settlers came and things just got better and better. No, they did not. This is very much a counter story to the traditional way that history's been taught, isn't it?
And I think I've only heard the word genocide used once in the lectures, but that's when I heard that, that's kind of what struck home to me.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the reality, and it's shocking.
Yeah. Well, Sylvia, I commend you for being in this course. And I know that you're not here to say, oh, I'm doing this and draw attention to yourself, but rather, I think you're doing this. When we were speaking about it the other day, you were expressing that you're doing this at the prompting of some of our Indigenous friends who said, look, you need to do your own learning, right? And
Yes.
It's humbling to realize how much we don't know and how much we need to learn.
Well, there's so much that there's in lots of ways you feel helpless. Like I feel helpless to make a difference, but maybe this is one way that I can change myself, that's an important element of finding resolution or reconciliation, it seems to me.
Right. And so what can each of us do? We'll actually post in the video some contact information, so those of you who are intrigued can find this course that Sylvia's following, and maybe you would like to join in too. So Sylvia, thanks for telling us about your learning and for being here to do this video today.
It's an exciting journey, actually. Thank you.